Hi there! Welcome to episode 6 of the WaveBack Music Podcast. Today's game is Katamari Damacy for the PlayStation 2. Enjoy! Hello again, this is the WaveBack Music Podcast, a show where we listen to and reminisce about some of the best video game music there is. My name is Chris, and I am your host. We are live again, so a big thank you to everyone who's tuning in to our broadcast. We've got a real treat because today's game is about as strange as games get, and that is the soundtrack. That soundtrack reflects it in every way, and I mean that in the best way possible. This is going to be a long episode, so prepare yourself. It's filled with bizarre, colorful, hyper, and downright beautiful music. So strap yourselves in for the eclectic musical stylings of Katamari Damacy. Katamari Damacy was released for the PlayStation 2 on September 21st, 2004 by Namco. In all honesty, it defies description. Nothing I can say can accurately describe what it's like to physically play this game, but I'm going to try anyway. In essence, Katamari is about rolling a ball around and doing whatever you can to make things stick to it, to make it as big as possible in as little time as possible, in order to please your impossible-to-please father. You play as the Prince of all Cosmos. Your father, the King of all Cosmos, who is a tightly dressed, large, cape-wearing fellow, got drunk one night and accidentally destroyed all the stars in the sky. He decided to task you with recreating said stars, and with something called a Katamari. The Katamari is a ball that things stick to, or rather, things stick to it. It doesn't stick to things, things stick to it. You roll it around, making the Katamari bigger, and the bigger the Katamari gets, the bigger the things you can pick up, and it just kind of goes and goes and goes and rolls like a snowball. You'll start with paper clips, move on to pencils, to watering cans, to cats, to bikes, to people, to cars, to buildings, and so and so and so forth. It is a magnificent game, teeming with personality, none of which are larger than your verbally abusive father, from his constant belittling of your work to his impeccable fashion sense to his bizarre mode of transportation called the Royal Rainbow, where he barfs a rainbow that transports the prince around to wherever he wants him to go. The King of all Cosmos is one of the most delightfully bizarre characters I've ever encountered in a video game. But anyway, on to the music. This game's soundtrack was composed by several people, and I'm going to do my very best to pronounce these names correctly. Yu Miyake was the primary composer, responsible for the bulk of the soundtrack, including the incredibly catchy main theme, which is referenced throughout the rest of the soundtrack. It's really cool. Like, the songs are very different from one another, but this main theme kind of sneaks its way in to a lot of the tracks in some small way. The other people involved are Asuka Sakai, Akitaka Toyama, I'm so sorry, Yoshihito Yano, Yori Misumi, and Hideki Tobeta. We've got lounge music, jazz, acoustic, J-pop, and more, and it is all just a delight. We're going to play a lot of the tracks from this game, because the soundtrack in its entirety is amazing, but kind of similar to our previous episode, there are some tracks that just don't translate that well to listening on their own. They work really well as background pieces for stages, but not so much as just listening on their own. But at least that's my opinion. So we're going to play the tracks that I like the best as just stuff to listen to on their own. This team created something truly unique and special, and Katamari wouldn't have been the success it was without this music. For me, music can make or break a game, and this music definitely made Katamari for me, starting with this first track. This first track that we're going to play is called Sasan Katamari, and it is the first song you hear. It's the first thing you hear after the PS2 startup screen. So you'll turn on your PlayStation 2, and then if this is the first time you've played the game, actually just kind of in general, the Namco logo shows up, and this music plays in the background. And you kind of start off with your little character rolls a Katamari in front of it, and you get to choose from like your start slots, like your save slots, or start a new game, and you just move your little character around and push forward, and then once you do that, the character rolls up whatever piece of the Namco logo and starts off the game. Now, what you're going to hear is the full track. The beginning of this track, which is going to be just vocals, yes, just vocals, is what you hear just over that little Namco thing. And then there's a couple of other tracks that happen, including what is going to be our track 3, but we're just going to play this one song in its entirety. The part where the rest of the instruments come in for this track are the training stage, which we'll talk about after we're done listening to it. So, without further ado, here is track number 1, Sasan Katamari. And that is... So that track loops and loops over and over again while you're in this weird little dome area, and you can... your father, the king of all cosmos, who you met in the intro of the game, which, like I said, we're going to get to that in a second, the music that plays over that, and we will discuss the insane intro to this game. So your father's head just kind of floats around and says all kinds of demoralizing things to you while trying to teach you how to roll your Katamari, and introduces you to the controls. And one of the coolest things about this, and I didn't notice this the first time that I played it, is eventually it tells you to look around, and if you look straight up to the ceiling, there's a hole in the ceiling, and your dad is just looking at you through the hole in the ceiling. And it's kind of creepy and kind of awesome. But that right there is a vocal version of the theme, and it just sums up the personality of this game so flawlessly, because it's just some dude doing the drums and everything. It cracks me up every time I hear it, and I love it. But that melody right there, you're going to hear in pieces throughout the rest of this soundtrack. Now, the second song we're going to listen to is appropriately called Wanda Wanda, which will make a lot of sense as soon as you hear the song. And it is part of the first, I guess, that was like the control seminar that the Sasan Katamari plays over. Wanda Wanda plays over the training course. Like, it's your actual, now you're going to start rolling around and picking up things. Like, now that you know how to move the Katamari, your father has tasked you with this small area to just kind of roll around, pick up some things, and make a Katamari only a few centimeters tall. And this song has just, it's got a really good groove to it, but it's also got this really strange instrumentation, which, again, will make sense as soon as you hear it, that the song is called Wanda Wanda. It reminds me a lot of, like, I guess it reminds me a lot of Rugrats soundtrack. If you remember the old cartoon Rugrats, this song really kind of conjures that up for me. But anyway, let's listen to track number 2, Wanda Wanda. And that is why they call it Wanda Wanda. If you listen to the bass line of that, it almost seems like they're saying BD bomb to say the bass line, which is interesting. But yeah, that's a heck of a track. I really love the groove to it. The just kind of gets you going a little bit, but it's ridiculously weird on top of everything else. And I don't really know what more to say about it. It's just a fun track, which is just one of the many fun tracks that you will experience during this episode. And now I'm realizing what I did here. Anyway, let's move on to track number 3. Track number 3 is the title screen, which is probably the track that I should have played second, now that I'm actually listening to this in order, but we'll get back to that. Yes, the next track is called Katamari on the Rocks, and this is the main theme just kind of blown up into full majestic glory. You have to see the intro to this game to believe that it exists. The first part of this next song is what the intro to the game is comprised of, and eventually there will be a stage in the game that you get to play to this song, which just kind of loops over and over again. But oh my goodness, this is just such bizarreness. It's out of this world. Once the backup vocals come in, they start little ducks appear on the side of the screen and start singing along. There are dancing pandas, mushrooms growing all over the place. This is just an intensely bizarre song, and an intensely wonderful song. And it will always remind me of the majesty of the King of all Cosmos. So, without further ado, here is Katamari on the Rocks.
Don't worry, do your best. Picnic 気分 feel so good. 素敵な afternoon. プラチナみんな yeah. 固めて転がす I love you いつでも smile for you. 君だけにラムネそう頑張らなくちゃ Compilation Compilation お揃いの T シャツ Hey 手編みのマフラーと Oh yeah ハートウォーミン目白押ししちゃいます。こんな日は歌って踊ろう主役は僕だけど It's my way It's my way なななななななな塊魂ななななななな塊魂Katamari Damacy ミスな気分酔いしれて
Majesty in its purest form. Oh god, that track is just amazingly bizarre and wonderfully catchy. So enjoy having that stuck in your head for the rest of the week. So yes, that was Katamari on the Rocks, which is the primary theme of Katamari Damacy. And what more can you say about it? It's just got everything. It's got a good beat. I'm sure it's got great lyrics. What little are understandable in English, I have no idea what they're singing about. I'm sure it's singing about rolling things up into balls, which is a really fun thing that this soundtrack does a lot. Is that it's all about rolling things up and love and whatever the other bizarreness that this game is just filled to the brim with. But yeah, Katamari on the Rocks, damn good song. Always reminds me of the King of All Cosmos. Anyway, it is time to move on. So this next track is... I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce this. For the longest time, I thought it was called Figure 7777. But upon further inspection, it is actually called Fugue number 7777. Fugue. So I'm just going to say it's pronounced Fugue. I don't know why. But so this next song is... another song that reminds me a lot of the Rugrats soundtrack, actually even more so than Wanda Wanda we heard earlier, because it's another one that's kind of seems mostly comprised of synthesized voices, and it's an oddly pretty tune. This is the song that plays when you are your father is basically interviewing you before a stage. You're this little teeny tiny Prince of All Cosmos, and your dad is ginormous, and it's a picture of like behind you and looking at your giant father, and he's kind of talking to you about the next stage that you're going to play and what the size of the Katamari you're supposed to be making is and whatnot. And it's just this kind of really weird, quirky song that kind of resolves itself into this very pretty tune. Like, it's actually a beautiful number, and well, there's no sense in me continuing to explain it. Let's just listen to it. Here is the next track of the evening. I believe track number 4, Fugue, number 7777. And yeah, that is that. So actually the reason that this track is placed where it is in the evening is because the first time you hear this track is before oh boy, come on brain. This is the music that plays during a very short cutscene of your father destroying the stars. You get to actually see that kind of happen. It's really silly looking, and then it jumps right back into this track. And so this is what sets you up on your way to your first proper stage in the game. But like I said before, you hear those little pieces of Katamari on the Rocks in there. Like, it's not really just a straight version of that song, but it's got pieces of it filtered into it, kind of creating this cohesive whole. Because as strange as this music sounds, it all fits together. Somehow it all seems to mesh well in this one game. Like, it is all very distinctly from the Katamari soundtrack, even though it is off the wall and all over the map. Just like this next track. Let's see. This is going to be The Wonderful Stars Walk is Wonderful. And this is probably my second favorite track of the game. This is the song that plays over the kind of the hub world. You go to this is your home planet, or so your father says, which is a very small planet that you just kind of float around, and stages kind of appear on it, and you get to choose those stages and play them in whatever order you like as they open up, as it were. And this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous piece of music. This song is astounding. It is probably my second favorite song of the night, and it is just really just something wonderful. So it starts off as this kind of very like an acoustic guitar is carrying the bulk of the melody of this song, and it kind of builds in a very strange way. Like you'll kind of hear these almost off key, almost strings like showing up in the background, and then it kind of takes a weird sidestep into circus category, circus territory, and then kind of back to being beautiful again. And what I really want you to listen to is this kind of secondary higher notes that come in on like a second acoustic guitar it's just gorgeous. I can't stress enough how much I love this song, and it's just a gorgeous piece of music, and I love it to death. So here is track number 5, The Wonderful Stars Walk is Wonderful. I love the part after about a little bit more than halfway through the song where the bass line kind of changes a little bit, just kind of adds that extra layer of amazingness to it. Ah, I love that song to death. And what's super cool about that is I actually didn't hear the rest of that song until I had played the game a few times, because yeah, you just float around this little planet and you make your decision on where you're going to go. And the first time I heard the song actually resolve was I was working at a Game Crazy in, I believe, Brooklyn when this game came out, and I had it in our interactives and I was playing it because I just had to try this game, and I had left it on that screen to go ring up a customer, and after I came back, I had heard how much different the song got, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is just gorgeous. And it's really stuck with me ever since. I love that song. And I'm sure you do too, because who couldn't love that song? Anyway, let's move on to track number 6. The next track we're going to play is the first proper stage of the game. This is where you are finally out on your own to roll a Katamari to replace a star that your dad destroyed. And this song is called "The Moon and the Prince." It is it's kind of a straight rock and roll track almost, but I guess, alright, definitely not a straight rock and roll track. I don't know how to properly describe this one. It's got a very straightforward rhythm to it, and it's got a really good beat. It's a very video gamey song, except it's got lyrics over it. And I don't know what most of them are, because most of them are in Japanese, but every now and then they slip in some English, and you'll definitely hear the phrase, "shake it up, funk it up." So here is track number 6, "The Moon and the Prince."
ネガティブな話題を口にするな。辛くても進むことをやめるんじゃない。ピースなバイブレーションでアークを描き、 スに負けないオブジェを作れ。チゲだファンキーだみんな黙って俺についてこい。イエチゲだファンキーだみんな必死で俺についてこい。カモンチゲだファンキーだみんな黙って俺についてこい。イエチゲだファンキーだみんな必死で俺についてこい。カモンチゲだファンキーだみんな黙って俺についてこい。イエチゲだファンキーだみんな必死で俺についてこい。カモンチゲだファンキーだみんな黙って俺についてこい。イエチゲだファンキーだみんな必死で俺についてこい。カモン
Now, I don't know about you, but I was definitely shaking it up and funking it up. I love how this guy, the person who's singing that song is just embraces whatever bizarreness is going on and does it just with such gusto. Like, he means it. He wants you to shake it up, and he really wants you to funk it up. I freaking love it. Before we move on to the next track, I just want to say a general thank you to DJ Vestlord, who is, again, playing this wonderful music for us all live, and he's playing it in the bizarre order that I sent it to him in, and behind-the-scenes stuff. But yes, thank you to DJ Vestlord. You are awesome for playing our wonderful music. And speaking of wonderful music, track number 7 is next. And you know what track number 7 is? My absolute favorite song of this soundtrack. This song is called Lonely Rolling Star, and I'm laughing because my favorite song of this soundtrack is like a J-pop song, but it is the most catchy song. It's just incredible. This song is absolutely incredible. It is impossible not just get caught up in the rhythm of it. It's I should have done more research and figured out exactly who was singing this song, but this woman sings this song, and she just does it so well, and it's so incredibly J-pop, but it's so catchy and so good, and it's about rolling stuff into a ball and turning it into a star. It's absurd. It is pure delightful. And Ali, if you are listening to this is the track I want you to cover, Lonely Rolling Star. So here it is, track number 7, my favorite track of the game, Lonely Rolling Star. with the little pop right at the end. Oh God, the way all the pieces of that song come together, the way all of that music flawlessly comes together to just form, I mean, what it is just it's just great. It's a silly song. It's just goofy as all heck, but man oh man, just it's musically wonderful, and it's pure joy to listen to. I love it to death, and I'm just ecstatic ecstatic at any opportunity to listen to it. So now we're gonna move on to the where things really start taking a turn. This next track is pretty different from Lonely Rolling Star, and kind of different from most of the stuff you've heard so far. It is a very quirky song. It's called "You Are Smart," which, as you listen to the song, it will become very, very clear why it's called "You Are Smart." But it's catchy. It's not my favorite song of the night, not by a long shot, but it is so strange. It is just so delightfully bizarre that I had to include it tonight, because, well, there are so few songs that are so strange, yet will make you feel good about yourself, because you are about to listen to track number 8, You Are Smart. Well, if you were ever looking for a song to make you feel better, if you're ever feeling dumb, this is the song. Because there's nothing quite like a song that constantly reminds you that you are smart by saying over and over again in a robot voice that you are smart. Man, it's just such a weird song, but really stuck out to me because you're playing this game and it's bizarre as bizarre can be, and then you get to a stage and you just don't know what to expect next, and then all of a sudden the soundtrack just starts saying you are smart, and where do you go from there? What do you do with that besides jump for joy because this game's amazing? It's really good bass line, good groove in that song, good everything. I don't even know what else to say about that track. So let's move on to the next one. This is track number 9. This is called Que Sera Sera, and it is another real standout track on this amazing soundtrack, because this is like, all right, so this is like a lounge act almost, like really a very let's see, not really lounge, very, I guess, Sinatra inspired. But the guy singing it is clearly kind of trying to do a Sinatra thing, but is very Japanese. So his English accent is great until he tries to say the word with. It's just hysterical, and it's got to be intentional. Like, it's so exactly what it is. You just imagine some Asian guy trying to impersonate Frank Sinatra. It's such a weird song because, well, much like everything else in the soundtrack's a weird song. I don't know why I keep saying that, but the word with comes from I want to wad you up into my life. Let's see. I'm so in love with you, he's trying to say. And it doesn't really come out proper. That's where his accent really just kind of breaks down. But the song, it's just about rolling people up to make a single star in the sky. Like, I want to wad you up into my life is just ridiculous. And why wouldn't you say roll me up into my life? Who knows? They went with the word wad, and I'm so glad they did. So another song that simply defies description. I am not doing this music any justice by talking about it, so you need to listen to it. Here is track number 9, Que Sera Sera.
I know you love me. I wanna word you up into my life. Let's roll up to be a single star in the sky. I hear you calling me. I wanna word you up into my life. Let's love up to make a single star in the sky. To you. I'm so in love with you. I wanna word you up into my life. Let's roll up to be a
a single star in the sky. I need you to feel me. I wanna word you into my life. Let's love up to make a single star in the sky to you. Let's roll up to be a single star in the sky. I hear you calling me. I wanna word you up into my life. Let's love up to make a single star in the sky to you. Yes to you. Daba 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 daba. Daba 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 daba. Daba daba ba 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 ba. Daba daba. Daba 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 daba. Yes to you. Daba 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 daba. Daba 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 daba. Daba daba
Dabastaba, whatever the hell that means. What a glorious song. I initially thought vibes with that one just because, not vibes, lounge with that because of the vibes. That whole sound just has a weird lounge act feeling to it. Boy, what a strange one. But yeah, it's just another one of those great things that happens in this game that you have no idea what's coming next because you go from a track like You Are Smart to a track like that, and somehow it fits right in there with the game. Who knew? just delightful. So, all right, let's move on to track number 10. This track is called Katamari Taino, parentheses, Roll Me In. This is kind of a rumba track, I guess. I think that's the flavor that you would call this. It's kind of fast moving, kind of catchy, a lot of female singers and stuff like that. It's a strange one. It's again not one of my favorites, but it's got its own following out there. The one-ups to an outstanding cover of this song. But so yeah, just another bizarre track for you. So here you go. Track number 10, Katamari Taino, parentheses, Roll Me In.
寄り添いながらあなたを見つめ、そう指先だけでロリと転がしながら教えてほしい。絡めてパヤパヤパパヤパヤパパパヤパパヤパパパヤパヤパパヤパヤパパパヤパパヤパパ
Very unique track among a soundtrack of nothing but unique tracks. But yeah, that's I guess samba or rumba. I don't really know the difference between them. I probably should as somebody who's hosting a musical podcast, but hey, what are you gonna do? it's a cool song, and it's got a good groove to it. It's the kind of song you want to listen to while rolling things into a giant ball. But I digress. Let's move on to track number 11. This next track is... I have kind of a strange relationship with this next track. The first time I heard it, I actually hadn't finished this game by the time I got the soundtrack. And the first time I heard it, the first 5 or 6 seconds of this song were just mind-blowingly gorgeous. Just unfathomably beautiful. And then this children's choir comes in, and it's like, whoa! I'm not a huge fan of the children's choir, but this song hits it hard. Like, it's very abrasive, like the way it comes in. It's because the music starts with these strings and just this stunningly gorgeous song, and then these kids come in, and it's all very... I've come to appreciate it for being very sweet. This one kid goes into a solo, and his accent's very thick, and I would love to hear this song without the vocals, but at the same time, they do add a certain something to it. It kind of keeps it in the bizarre territory, because even like something like the Wonderful Stars Walk is Wonderful, our track 5. That's a beautiful song, but it's not without its weirdness. Like, everything in this game has to have that some sort of quirk to it. Everything is quirky. And this children's choir is definitely what gives this song its quirk. But, man, I think it's about 1 minute and 20 seconds before the song is over. It just becomes like most of the vocals drop out, and it just is this stunningly gorgeous piece. I cannot gush enough about how much I love this song for everything that it is. It's just really one of the most beautiful pieces of music on the PlayStation 2. It is stunning. So that's enough of me. Here is track number 11, Cherry Blossom Color Season. Enjoy. is Cherry Blossom Color Season. That is, that end part is just so gorgeous. And it sticks out so much in this soundtrack because it yet exemplifies it so much at the same time. Like, all of this stuff is strange, but it is so beautiful. And that one probably the most literally beautiful track of the soundtrack. Just stunning. And there was a longest time where I really didn't give this song the time of day, because as soon as that children's chorus came in, it was so harsh and so abrasive. I was like, nope, next track. And I wouldn't really give it the time of day. And then when I got to this stage in the game and heard the whole thing through to conclusion, just it really just kind of balances itself out and is a stunningly beautiful piece. Just simply stunning. Ah, goodness. So we're almost done here. We're here in the home stretch. We've got 2 tracks left this evening. And these next 2 tracks are part of the ending. The first track that we're going to play is track number 12, Katamari of Love. And this is the song that plays over, I guess, the majority of the ending part of the game, where you've let's see. So after you finish the game, you get this little bit where you're rolling up planets and just the biggest stuff imaginable, and this music plays over you doing that. It's pretty surreal, much like the rest of this game, but it's a good track. It involves some singing. There's definitely someone singing over this who is, I would say, maybe doing his best Springsteen or Bon Jovi impression. It's something special, but you have to hear it. So here's track number 12, Katamari of Love.
けど悲しい出来事が絶え間なく続いてる。なぜ僕らは傷つけ合うのか。わかり合うことが優しさを生むのに Love つながりたいんだ。そうさきっと
제이자 tomnare
Boy, that sure is something, isn't it? What's neat about that track is that it incorporates bits of, which I actually have never noticed until just this moment, that not only does it have pieces of the Katamari theme in it, like a lot of the other tracks did, but it also seems to have pieces of that Cherry Blossom Color Season song in it as well, which is neat, just kind of how it rolls a bunch of those tracks together. Ha! Rolls! Katamari pun. Good times. And so, with that, we're on to our last track. Track number 13, Katamari March. And I had to save this one for last because it's pretty much the end of the game, and it's goofy as all hell. It really just kind of ties it back to some of the earlier tracks that we listened to, with just this weird quirkiness, but in kind of a more, I guess, straightforward quirkiness, wearing its bizarreness on its sleeve, as opposed to hiding under 80s rock ballads or lounge music like some of this other stuff. So, here's strap yourselves in for our last song of the evening, track number 13, Katamari March. And what a better way to end than that. If that doesn't just sum up the Katamari soundtrack as a whole, I don't know what does. This game is just an extraordinary anomaly. They made a lot of sequels to it. There's been weird offshoots on the PSP. I think there was one on the Vita, mobile phones, sequels on consoles, Xbox 360. And they all take place in this Katamari world, and they're all have their certain level of charm to them, but none of them are the first one. The original Katamari Damacy for PlayStation 2 is lightning in a bottle. It has that charm that nothing has been able to recapture since. Like, none of the sequels have, in my opinion, come close to the sheer unadulterated magic that was this first game. It was the perfect game at the perfect time, and kind of like I had mentioned that this game really helped rekindle my love affair with video games, and not that I ever truly fell out of grace with them, but this game was a reminder of why I love gaming. It is pure artistic vision in its most bizarre form, and I mean it's goofy, it's absolute insanity, but there's no denying that it is a work of art, and this soundtrack is really one of its finest features. It's fun to play, but it wouldn't have been half of what it is without this music. And I'm forever grateful for its existence and for our ability to listen to this music. It's just wonderful. So, and that's our show. Thanks everyone for tuning in and enjoying this incredibly strange and delightful collection of songs. The next episode is just a few weeks away, and the game will be the first of probably many episodes in the future to feature a soundtrack by one of my all-time favorites, Mr. David Wise. The game is Iron Sword: Wizards and Warriors 2 for the NES, and I would love to hear everyone's thoughts and memories of the game. So if you like, you can send them to mail@geekade.com. Also check out all the other great content we have on our site over at geekade.com, and thanks again for listening. Have a great night.